Hello, good afternoon. Michael Wynn, Chief Digital Officer of Digital Ops, a division of RB Oppenheim Associates. Hey guys, thanks for joining in today as we talk about digital marketing tactics and strategies to grow your business. It's Monday, and many of you may be feeling the Monday blues and looking for a source to fuel your creativity to do things differently. And I think that's what I want to talk about today is really just about creativity and finding it in the ordinary or mundane. I mean, you really can really look no further than just the things that are happening around you to inspire you to bring about creativity, whether it's in your marketing messages, whether it's in running your business, or even in your own personal growth. I came across this quote that I thought was really great. Bruce Garabrandt is the author of the quote, and he says, "Creativity doesn't wait for that perfect moment. It fashions its own perfect moment out of ordinary ones." And I have been a huge believer. It's just been something that's been instilled in me from a very early age to look around and observe all the different things in finding creativity. I can remember back, as it applies to the business world and creating marketing and creating an experience for my audience. I remember back in the days when I was a service advisor for an Acura dealership, and I remember at the time, my daughters were very young in school. They were, in kindergarten. They were, at kindergarten, I think second grade and maybe fourth grade. And I remember my kindergartner came home one day and she had this ribbon that, said she had done a great job. And so I decided, we were really looking for different ways at the dealership to improve our customer service experience. And so I came up with this idea to create these little strips and had a little personal message from me for the clients that I had worked with on getting their car service that day. And I just said, thank you for being a valued customer. And I signed my name. And I had cut these little strips out of manila colored, resume type paper. And I had gotten some peppermints. And so I taped the peppermint to the top of the strip, and then I taped that peppermint right on the center of their steering wheel. And so when their car was done, we had it, parked in a certain area. So when you came to pick up your car, you knew where to go to get it. And so I never forget the day that the first one that I put on there, I went outside and I kind of watched from behind a column and watched, the young lady open up her car door. And, she just looked at it and there was a smile on her face, and I was like, yes, that was what we were going for, like this, not expected, simple gesture to say thank you. And so I think that was just one of my, first experiences of observing something that was happening right then in my life that inspired me to want to create something different, to create a unique experience for those that mattered most to me. And at that time, it was my customers that I was helping get in their car fixed. So I think, over the weekend, another very mundane, ordinary thing that I did was I was pressure washing around my pool. And I remember doing this a couple of years ago, right after my liner was replaced, but it's been so long that I hadn't really, done it in a while. So I get the pressure washer out and I'm, literally, cleaning like 3 inches at a time around the pool. And I'm thinking about the whole time, I'm like, it's so odd that, here I wish I had a tool that could help me do it faster. But, I got to be outdoors. It was beautiful over the weekend. It was sunny. And my mind started thinking about, gosh, how many times in life do we have like the yuck and the funk, that surrounds us, and to be able to just clean that off and get it out of your way is such a relieving feeling. And so I got all the way done with that, and I thought, oh my gosh, I could use the same tool to like spray off the gutter guards where I've got like this pine straw, that's preventing the water from really being able to flow through the gutter. So I'm like spraying this thing and it's cleaning it. And so it's making it nicer, but it's also allowing it to function better, right? And I think about that same thing, like sometimes in creativity, you have to have the right tool in order to do the thing that you need, right? And so, you know, we've talked about web design before and how Google Analytics lets you look at and sort the most popular pages of your website. And so maybe there's some old junk in your site that doesn't need to be there anymore. Maybe it's not relevant, maybe it's outdated. Like take it off, like get rid of it, you know? So I think that, you know, being able to remove the old, stale, dingy stuff definitely creates an environment of thinking differently about what's most important to you. Which brings up the next thing I did after I pressure washed the gutter was I have this like little brick paver area that's around the patio, around the pool. And so I'm pulling these weeds. You know how the weeds get stuck in between each one of the little patios, and like my fingers are all ripped up, you know, because I'm like grabbing from between these brick pavers. And you know, I started thinking about that. I was like, you know, man, dealing with the stuff in the cracks is a hassle. It is such a you know, like no one wants to do that. Like it was so bad. I took a picture of it. I put it on my Facebook page, and I was like before and after. But what was really cool was, you know, after I had done that, I was sitting back and I was enjoying a cold beer, and I'm looking at, you know, the clean area around the pool and the clean patio, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, man, you know what? I should invite my coworkers over for like, you know, happy hour at my place. And we sit around by the pool. I've got a pool table inside. We can just have this like really great time. And again, here's one of those mundane, ordinary things that sparked creativity about, you know, team building around, you know, my company and what I've got going on. And so again, it's just this very ordinary, mundane thing that sparked something different. And then I got all fired up, you know, and the sun went down. I had dinner, and I was going out in my garage, and I was putting away my tools, and the cleaning bug, I mean, it really bit me hard over the weekend. So I see a couple of old photographs of my girls, and because I've got 3 daughters and a granddaughter and a soon grandson on the way, maybe. So, you know, it was funny because I thought, gosh, I don't have any pictures of the girls like within the last year or so that are up and out and around. So, you know, I texted their mom, was like, hey, you know, I know you take a lot of photos, you know, could you send me some? I want to get some 8x10s done. And again, it's like this little simple thing of cleaning out the garage made me realize, you know, what's most important to me, and do I have those reminders around me in my house? And so again, maybe organization for you, you know, looking at whether it's your website content or your social media content, and looking at it and really thinking like, does this really represent who we are now? You know, have we just been caught up in this status quo of posting the same old thing over and over, and it's really not reflective of who we are and what we're doing right now? I think that's so important. And lastly, this was graduation weekend, and I think if anything, as I sat there and watched hundreds of students go through you know, graduation, and thinking about as they're sitting there, like they have no idea what's coming next. Like maybe they know where they're going to school, whether it's, you know, community college or state college or university. They really don't know what the next chapter of life. And can you just imagine that, like the openness of the possibilities of that? And I think just being aware of that and being open to that really gave me a refreshed sense of there's another chapter that's going to be written, and it's going to start on Monday, but it's already started on Sunday. And I think it really ties up nicely. The other quote that I came across was by Edward de Bono, and a philosopher, thinker. A lot of people don't think about creatives in that way, but this quote was great. Creativity involves breaking out of expected patterns in order to look at things in a different way. You know, guys, it could be something as simple as when you go home today, go a different route. Like that's something I've been doing recently. Like there's 3 or 4 different ways for me to get to my house from my office. And I've been doing it where I'm like just changing up the pattern and going different ways. Something as simple as that could break the pattern. So I want to encourage you. Today is hashtag Motivation Monday. So why not be a little motivated for and spark creativity in your life. Again, my name is Michael Wynn. Thanks for joining in today, and we'll see you tomorrow.